Hello, everyone, it's Mix here, back with another review for you guys. Anyway, sorry for the slight delay this video. I've been having a busy weekend and stuff, but now I expect some more videos coming to the channel this week, everyone. Bunch of stuff planned for the remainder of the month, everybody, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Uh, Anyway, today's video, everyone, it's gonna be the next, kind of next review for Halloween / Horror Month, everyone. I say kind of, because, uh, Um, the film review today is not technically a horror movie; it's a superhero-based movie. As everyone's still a little bit on the sick side here, but I have been getting better though. So, anyway, today's review is kind of debatable whether it's 12 Halloween / Horror Month, but it is a film based on one of the most well-known comic book characters in the Spider-Verse and Venom. And so there are people out there that do consider Venom scary and stuff like that. So they won't where it qualifies for Halloween / Horror Month, but anyways, ladies and gentlemen, today's movie review, everybody, is the movie review I mentioned to you guys. And that is going to be the review on Venom. A lot of you should be familiar with where Venom is. He's a symbiote that originated from outer space. First he got attached to Spider-Man, and it made Spider-Man more aggressive side of him, stuff like that. But Spider-Man, sorry, I got a little something in my throat there, but it's all good now. So, but anyway, I'm back to my movie review for you guys. I'll say but Venom, actually released a darker side of Spider-Man that made him go against what he is, who he is, and stuff like that. So Spider-Man decided to get rid of the symbiote, and the symbiote eventually finds its way to Abe Brock, who is Peter Parker's rival of sorts over at the Daily Bugle, and Venom is a merger with Brock, and thus Venom was born. Well, Spider-Man's most deadliest foe, so we'll go up against. Over the past number of years, Venom's been back and forth between being a villain and anti-hero and stuff like that. So, and now he's gonna have his own. He's having his first theatrical movie, and his second film adaptation since Spider-Man 3. His first film adaptation since Spider-Man 3. Oh. Sorry, cough there, one. I'll try to keep the coughing down the video here, everybody. But anyway, and now everyone, the Venom movie. Everyone, the Venom movie. One of the big things that was announced about the Venom movie that it was not going to be involving Spider-Man. So far, not going to be involving Spider-Man, and a lot of people are skeptical of how the movie was going to turn out and stuff like that, and so was I, because Venom, his origin, Spider-Man did play a big role in Venom's origin, stuff like that, and not having Spider-Man felt a little odd and stuff like that. So, and it's a little debatable whether if this is going to be tied with the MCU or not, because Sony, they do have this deal with Marvel where Spider-Man is allowed the MCU, but Sony, they still own the majority rights to Spider-Man characters, and Sony, they are planning to do kind of like their own separate cinematic universe there with the Spider-Man characters, and it's debatable or not whether that's going to be tied in with the MCU or not. I guess we'll just have to wait and find out once the deal expires between Sony and Marvel to have Spider-Man in the MCU movies, stuff like that. I'll wait to see it, stuff like that, but anyway, I recently seen the Venom movie, everyone. I'm here to give my thoughts on stuff like that. Everyone, as usual, before I begin my movie review, everybody, there will be some minor spoilers in the film. So if you guys have not seen the movie yet yourselves, do recommend you watch it first before checking out my review. So like that, it's still out in theaters at the time it's recorded. So, with that being said, everyone, let's get all right into the review, everybody. So, first off, the plot synopsis involves Abe Brock, who was a journalist in San Francisco, and things were going well for him, stuff like that. But then he tried, um, he was assigned to do a story on the Life Foundation, and he decided to go do a different story, the one he was assigned to by the news organization he was working for, and he ended up backfiring him big time. He ended up losing his job and his girlfriend, since his girlfriend works for a company that's associated with the Life Foundation, stuff like that, and so Abe Brock and his girlfriend broke up, and then fast forwards to 6 months later, and Brock's on his own apartment and stuff like that. But then he's brought back into the whole Life Foundation situation again as scientist. She decides to bring Abe Brock back in and stuff like that to Life Foundation and show him the human experiments they've been doing with the symbiotes that the Life Foundation gathered from outer space on a rocket and stuff like that at the beginning of the film. Sort of cough there, one, but I don't say it here, and Brock, he eventually finds his friend, and she's in a trap there, and Brock tries to free her, but ends up backfiring, and A Brock's friend ends up getting killed, and the symbiote ends up fusing, and symbiote Venom ends up fusing with A Brock, and us them and or to work together, stuff like that, to take down Life Foundation, stuff like that, and also deal with Riot, who is another symbiote, and is kind of like the leader of symbiotes and stuff like that, that merges with the head of the Life Foundation, stuff like that, so, and that's pretty much the plot synopsis for Venom, everybody. Now on to my general thoughts of the film, everyone. Now, everyone, my opinion on Venom has been interesting. My thoughts on Venom are interesting, to say the least. On one hand, I really enjoyed the film, but on the other hand, I don't think it's gonna be one of the biggest films. Well, I don't know if it's gonna be a contender for one of the best films of 2018 for me, but I still really enjoyed the film, though. I'll talk about what I liked first, though, everybody. First off, the big thing, the way is, of course, about Tom Hardy's performance as A. Brock and Venom. Tom Hardy did a great job portraying A. Brock and Venom in the film and stuff like that, and did a good job making sure Venom and A had good chemistry with each other and stuff like that. So Tom Hardy did a really good job in this film in terms of acting, and the other actors, they did a good job too. With the material they were given, stuff like that. I'll get to more on that a little later on, everyone. Of course, the action scenes in the film were very well done, and there were a lot of funny moments in them, everybody. I did get a laugh out of me, so. Sorry, coughing there. Again, I had some throat there. Sorry about that one. But anyway, there were a good number of jokes in the film. They did get a laugh out of me and stuff like that. Like I said, overall wise, I was entertained with Venom, but that did have some problems. Everyone, I'll get to them real quick here. Now, everyone, I did say that the actors did a good job with the material that they were given with some of that. There wasn't really, aside from Eddie and Venom, and I guess to an extent Riot, and the owner of the Life Foundation, a lot of the characters still weren't really that interested. Everybody, again, Brock and Venom, they're the main characters film, but obviously they're gonna have the biggest spotlight, stuff like that. But everyone usually, but the other characters in the film, everybody or that entertaining or that interesting in the film. So that they something get better in the film, like A. Brock's girlfriend. I mean, her character did get better as she developed and stuff like that, but she wasn't that interesting of a character throughout the film, in my opinion. Everybody, not just her, but some other characters in the film as well. I felt like now. Or I felt like, the film did give them enough time to get them to develop and stuff like that, which, the film's almost 2 hours long. You think there'll be at least some time to develop some characters and stuff like that, but still, it's mainly focused on Brock and Venom. That's about it, Maybe the other characters don't really have that much development and really don't have much of a personality to them. So you'll probably say, well, what about the story? Surely the story's good. Story-wise, I think it's okay. But the movie is very, very predictable. Everybody, through its plot. Basically, if you see the trailer, well, you pretty much get a good idea of how the film's gonna be going and stuff like that. So, well. And like I said, everyone, story-wise, everyone, it's okay. But if you saw the trailers, you pretty much get a pretty good idea how the movie's gonna go and stuff like that. And the trailers were enjoyable. I did feel like that the trailers did kind of hurt the film in terms of trying to keep things hidden, stuff like that. Normally I don't complain too much about trailers showing too much or anything like that. But when it comes to Venom, it did show a lot of stuff that they did show a lot of stuff that happened in the film and stuff like that. Sorry, my ass reflex, but anyway, and everyone, and there aren't really too many surprises or anything like that in the film, everybody. So, and I really don't know what more else to say about in terms of the plot and stuff like that, everyone. So, I complaints and stuff like that about the plot. So, again, the characters, they weren't really that much developed either and stuff like that. And normally I would kind of let a movie pass a little bit if it doesn't have that much of interest in the story. If they got well-developed characters and well-developed, entertaining characters and stuff like that. But Venom, like I said, aside from A. Brock and Venom, they really don't focus that much on the other characters, which is a little disappointing. I mean, some of them did get development throughout the film, but felt like they didn't get to have enough time to develop or become. Did not get enough time to develop and stuff like that. You know what I mean, everybody? So, I mean, take a look at about the last movie I reviewed. Was Planet Terror. I mean, it did. My basic place in that film that's a very generic and predictable story, but it more than made up for that with the characters of the film, made them very entertaining, and a lot of them had good amount of time to develop and stuff like that. And the film did a good job balancing out the screen time with the characters and stuff like that. With Venom, I mainly focus on A. Brock and Venom. I get they're the main characters and stuff like that, and it does make sense. It does make sense to focus on them, but if you have more than one character film, you do need to give them at least some time to develop and stuff like that, everybody. So and I felt like they really hurt Venom, in terms of both the characters and the overall story. Now, I did hear that this film, did take only like 1 year to film and stuff like that, which might explain why some parts were a little rushed. Now, I guess it could be another thing I can talk about real quick about the overall pace of the film. The pacing was okay, although some parts were a little fast paced. Not to the point where I couldn't keep up with the film, but you could tell, that some parts of the film were fast paced and rushed and stuff like that. Since the film, like I said, from what I've heard, took about a year to film and stuff like that. So usually takes about a year and a half or 2 years for movies to get done with filming and production and stuff like that. So that's pretty much my general thoughts of everyone. Tell me my overall rating for Venom, everybody. And for those of you who are new to my reviews, everyone, I have 5 scores. My highest one is the must-buy / must-watch, which goes to some of the best sports entertainment I've seen. And then there's the second highest, which is the buy-it rating, which is that is the best thing I've seen entertainment wise, but I still recommend you check out some. I still recommend checking out some of that. Then there's the middle ground rating, which is a serious rating, which goes to movies that are somewhere in the middle. Not necessarily the best, but not necessarily the worst. Then there's the second lowest rating I got, which is the ignore it rating, which goes to feel that aren't necessarily the worst, but would not recommend people check it out. Then there's my lowest score I can give to movies it's the Let It Burn rating, which goes to some of the worst pieces of entertainment I've seen, both movies, TV shows, other forms of entertainment, stuff like that. So, anyway, when it comes to Venom, everybody, it's probably a big mixed bag for me. Yeah, probably something I haven't. So definitely a film that's probably the biggest mixed bag films I've seen in quite a while. Everyone, one hand, I did have a lot of joy watching the film. I like of action scenes, but really, I thought the actors did the best they could with the performances they were giving, with their performances and the material they were giving, stuff like that. And there were lots of funny moments throughout the film, everybody. But looking at critical wins, there are also a lot of problems with Venom, and also in terms of the character and the story department, which is pretty much the core, for movies and stuff like that, aside from Venom and A. Brock, not much of the characters, the other characters don't get much screen time, and or don't have much developed. Maybe not. Maybe. All right, there's some that do get screen time, like the girlfriend and the villain and stuff like that, but but they don't get as developed as much as A. Brock and Venom doing stuff like that. So I felt like I heard their characters and stuff like that, And I felt like the film spent more time balancing out the character development and stuff like that. I felt like that would help up their character, make their characters stronger, stuff like that. So everyone, my overall for Venom is a streaming / rent it. Now, again, this is I won't call this the worst movie I've seen in 2018. Far from it. Heck, compared to other films I've seen them in general, Venom was really Venom looks like a masterpiece compared to some films I've seen everybody. But also everyone, other films I've seen, compared to other films I will say it's not as good as other films I've seen. Whether it be this past year or in general, everybody. Again, I had a lot of joy watching the film, but critical lens, it does have a lot of flaws to it. So, if you're a fan of the character, for people who are fans of the Venom character, Venom is portrayed much better than he did back in Spider-Man 3. If you just want to go and see the film because Venom is in it, and you just want to see Venom probably portrayed, more portrayed personality-wise as he is in the comics, then and I say go ahead and you'll enjoy the movie and stuff like that. But if you're looking, but people that want to expect more from Venom and stuff like that, it's like becoming one of the biggest superhero films a year and stuff like that. And having really high expectations for it, you might be disappointed going into Venom. So and that pretty much concludes my review, everybody. But next time, everyone, in terms of reviews, everybody, I will be doing next review of Halloween/Horror Month, which will be my the review TV series Ruby Gloom. And some more reviews come out for Halloween/Horror Month throughout the month of October, and maybe some November too. It depends on how things go in terms of videos or release, stuff like that. About videos or releases, stuff like that. So, make sure to stay for that, everybody. Till then, this is our big sign out. Peace out, everybody.